The Gaza humanitarian aid plan appears to be an effort to take over from the United Nations and privatise the delivery of aid to Gaza. There's been an Israeli blockade on aid since March 2nd, and it's left civilians there starving. Both UNICEF and the World Food Programme say that famine is looming in Gaza. Well, the new proposal appears to be an Israeli idea that is fronted by a US-backed charity. The charity will enlist the help of private security contractors to execute aid delivery in Gaza. Israel said that this plan will be enacted by the end of the month. But this is all extremely controversial. Why? Well, because it will use two private security firms based here in the United States. One is called Safe Reach Solutions, and it's led by the former head of the CIA's paramilitary arm, who also has links to the company that ran notorious private security firm Blackwater. And the other is called UG Solutions, and it's run by a former US Special Forces soldier. The plan also involves emptying the north of Gaza. The aid hubs will be in the south and forcing Gazans not to go back to where they came from in exchange for receiving aid. Well, the UN has rejected this plan, saying that it weaponizes aid and threatens to cause the mass displacement of Palestinians. The EU's former chief diplomat, Josep Borrell, has gone a step further. He has accused Israel of ethnic cleansing and of using the starvation of Gaza's civilian population as a weapon of war. Well, the call from the United Nations is just let us do our work, just let us deliver aid to civilians in need in Gaza. It's important to point out that the UN can deliver aid effectively, as it did during the recent ceasefire and according to humanitarian law, if Israel would only allow it to. Well, Israel's envoy to the UN, Danny Danon, has said that the idea of this new aid model is that Hamas will not be able to take advantage of humanitarian aid. So that's Israel's argument. But the problem with this Gaza Humanitarian Aid Foundation plan for many at the United Nations is that they see it as a trap. Whilst it might be called humanitarian, they believe that its actual objective is not humanitarian at all. It's political and military. Well, British Ambassador to the UN, Barbara Woodward, had a clear message for Israel from EU members of the Security Council earlier on this week. She said, lift the blockade on aid and enable the United Nations and humanitarians to save lives. She said that any model for distributing aid must be independent, impartial and neutral, and in line, of course, with humanitarian law. She said, well, we can't support any model that places political or military objectives above the needs of civilians. However, it's unclear what the EU or the UN can do to stop this new plan from being pushed forward by Israel and the United States.